Hi and welcome to Game Creation. So today we're going to be doing the bulk of the work this week. We're going to make it so that when the window resizes, so if you imagine a different monitor, a different resolution, different pixels, whatever, it's going to react and it's going to just look beautiful whatever screen size you have. And it's so easy to do. Once you learn the window control object, it's so simple. Even if you don't understand it by the end of the week, you'll be able to replicate I think the single line of code we'll need to just hook this up. There's going to be a slight issue today, which I'm going to clean up tomorrow's video. So normally our Friday videos is just mopping up and making everything look perfect, and that's definitely the case this week. So see if you notice the issue, but I will talk about it as well today and then we'll fix it tomorrow. So let's get started. So yesterday we looked at the window control object and we added it to our storyboard there, but we didn't really do anything with it. We've just kind of left it as it is. So if I run it, it's no different. It's just exactly the same issue, that when I resize it, like the player disappears until they come up. So that's not very good. So what I want to do is dig into the code, and we've got to figure out where we want this. So I'm going to just collapse. Oh, I always click on that. I'm going to collapse some of these and just figure out where it is I want this. Or probably scrolling. This is probably in that area. Now I might create another one called responsiveness, but the problem is that responsiveness is probably going to be included in almost everything we do. So I'm gonna include it with scrolling, and as long as you know where it is, especially if you're not sharing the development with anyone, and that's quite difficult to do with Clickteam. So just make sure that you have a logic in your head, so that when you need to change it, you know where you're looking. But don't forget also, you can just click on the object up here, and it will show you every instance that you've used that object, either on the left hand side or within here, or you've used a value from it. It's really, really useful. So what I want to do is ensure, so if I run the application, and what the issue is that when I stretch it out, the frame is not growing with it. Okay, so the frame is not growing with the application at all, or shrinking with it. So we're not getting that kind of growing or shrinking kind of effect. So we need to just mop that up. So always, and I'm just going to right click here, and I'm going to say the frame window, and is it frame window? No, I want to resize the frame. This is when I start thinking, do I want to set width. Is it the frame window, or do I want the X size? I think it's resize X size. This is where you've got to really know what it is you're trying to do, because resize X size or set width. I think I'm going to try set width and just play around with it. And I'm going to set the width to the actual window itself, so horizontal size of the window. And I also want to adjust the frame size, so I'm going to switch that to 1. And I'm going to set the frame window height, and I'm going to get the height of the frame window, and I'm going to change that to 1, so I want to adjust the frame size. Now this is going to look really weird, and this is why I had to really think this through. I'm going to try it a different way afterwards and see what the issue is, because what I'm doing is I'm setting the width of the frame window to the width of the frame window. So it makes no sense, but when I do that, it allows me to adjust the frame size as well. And you might be asking yourself a question, which I'm going to answer as well in this video. So let's run that and see if that works. How cool is that? Works absolutely perfectly. And I keep deleting bits of my level. But if you look at that, that works perfect. Let's go full screen. works almost perfectly. So we've got a problem with the Y, probably because I've been a numpty. Set height of frame window to, oh, there we are. I've been a numpty. Yeah, vertical size of window. There we go. And some of you probably are shouting out, no, you clicked the wrong one. That's fine. And there we go. It worked absolutely perfectly. And I've put rubbish everywhere. So let's delete that rubbish. It works absolutely perfectly. That's exactly what I want. It's exactly what I want. Now, something I noticed actually is that it's cut off a little bit at the top here. And I do wonder why that is. That means I've not been very precise somewhere. Let's just check. Let's make it really small. See if it works. See if the scrolling works. Yep, the scrolling is set up really well, so it works regardless. Perfect. Now, some of you might say, well, hang on, why are you doing it through this really weird process? And I'm going to try and not do it through this process. I'm going to do it through a more logical process. So we're going to get rid of that. And I'm just going to make that inactive. And I'm going to try it a different way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here and I want to set the frame width. Okay, which I think most people would think, yeah, that's exactly what you should be doing. And we're going to set the width to the horizontal size of the window, but it should be the horizontal size of the client area. That's why I had the issues before. It should be the horizontal size of the client area. This gets very complicated, doesn't it? But you've only got to do this once. Okay, so frame window, set the frame height, and again, it should be the client area. After doing that long video yesterday, I still don't get it right. Anyway. Okay, and oh, that looks perfect. That's doing well. Oh, perfect. That's a bit odd. Hang on, what's happening there? Oh, it doesn't grow. And this is the weird thing. I don't know why. And I'm sure someone in the comment can explain to me why it doesn't work. It doesn't grow. It just seems that for whatever reason, when I use the storyboard control, to set the frame width and height, you can make it smaller, but you can't make it bigger. And I'm sure there's a really good explanation for it, but I forever have never done that for that reason. It just doesn't work. So that's why you do this weird process. Now I'm going to change this as well, because should be the client area, because I don't want the frame window to be, and that's why we had that issue before, cutting off slightly. And whenever I do this, one is always going to make mistakes, and that's why you test your application. Save it regularly, test it regularly. That's kind of my advice. And that should work much nicer now. So let's inactivate that line and activate that one, and let's see if that's working better. I think the width is still, I've probably made the same mistake, haven't I? Client width. That should work nicely. I don't know why that's not working nicely. Because the width now is working good. Oh, it's because I was slightly down. That's working perfectly. Brilliant. And if you see now, if I shrink it, it works perfectly. Then when I grow it, it works absolutely spot on. Now, I said to you that there is a tweak. There's an issue with this, which actually is only an issue for us in testing, but if we want to let the player or the user decide the screen resolution, then it is an issue, and it will annoy me, so I will always fix it. I'll let you have a think about what it might be if I show you the resizing. And those you might realise that it's when you are resizing, like you have this horrible white border, and it's especially prevalent when I've made applications. So when you use Clickteam to make a little music player or something, or some application, it's really annoying. And it's so easy to fix, and we're going to be fixing that in tomorrow's video. And it's just about knowing Clickteam and knowing where to go, because Clickteam's thought about all this stuff, and just the next stage is us knowing about it and it becoming common knowledge, because you can make the best application in the world, which I think Clickteam's amazing, but if no one knows that the functions exist, there's very little point in having them. So that'll be tomorrow's video. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to see more from us, please click subscribe. We release videos every single weekday at 7 PM UK time. Thank you.